The next study is about the screen image of Muslim women in post 9/11 movies, which were largely made in Hollywood, uh, and but they were based on the backdrop of 9/11 and the war on terror after that, and how this war was fought in various Muslim countries. That was the main focus of this study. This study was conducted by Dr. Shaban Rafi, who is a very renowned linguist, Pakistani applied linguist these days. And in this study, he found how the image of Muslim women has been presented in these movies, and he tried to locate and present to us how various strategies have been used by the makers of these movies to persuade Muslim women in these oppressed societies to enact their power, to get their rights. And this is what is believed to be the agenda of these movies. To investigate not only the image of oppressed Muslim women, but also to bring to the surface the successful struggles of educated professional women as a contrast to those oppressed women. This study looks into the deep analysis of the discourse of these movies and the projection of these movies in relation to Muslim women, and how this has been angled from a certain Western perspective, and what possibly this has caused to the understanding of common people. The data was drawn from 4 movies which were filmed and released somewhere between 2008 to 2015. These movies included Sniper 2014, Jarhead, Field of Fire 2014, Zero Dark 30 2012, and Body of Lies, which was released in 2008. And these movies are based on some kind of war or war-like trauma in Muslim countries like Afghanistan, Iraq, Jordan, Pakistan, Oman, and Syria. And a researcher later on termed all these countries coupled as Muslim society. The study built its theoretical framework or foundation by drawing on various knowledge, already available knowledge or literature from discourse analysis, critical theory, and deconstruction. And there were various social strategies. It was observed by the researcher that social realities were projected in these films was based on various discursive practices which were manifested through the stylistic choices, actions, objects, settings, graphic illustrations, and also soundtracks. They all contributed to the projection of certain views of a reality. In addition to the identification of Muslim women in the oppressed discourses, it also focused on unlocking some hidden meaning by acknowledging the professional contributions of some powerful women in these societies, or possibly powerful women in these societies. And in order to present a contrast to all this situation in Muslim societies, the attempt has been made to see how the Western women who are thought to exercise their power, their rights with their own will, have been presented as a contrast or as a comparison. This would probably this has been used to build people's perceptions about not only about the women from to various different societies, but also about the societies themselves. How which society treats in what way to their women. Findings also revealed that Muslim women in these movies are seen as slaves, victims, helpless, ignorant, and duped caricatures in the public and private spheres, which probably may be slightly unfair to the people who are living in these countries. And it's also unfair to many prosperous, many many educated and liberal women living in these societies who are exercising their rights and enjoying their life to their will. Themes such as abrogation of women's rights, suppression, lack of democracy, education, and corruption in Afghanistan, Iraq, Jordan, Pakistan, Oman, and Syria uh, were being recycled by these filmmakers. And this was quite understandable because in such situations, the filmmakers or movie makers, they usually recycle the same images which are thought to be acceptable to the public. This is exactly the projection of Muslim women and Muslim societies in the West, which has been there in previous written literature also, and how social and cultural comparison is made between East and the West. This is exactly the same reflection, and this was very easily digestible for the common viewers in Western societies. That's why filmmakers, instead of getting into some serious depth and finding out some causal background of these oppressions, if there were any in Muslim societies, they just presented the picture in a more grim manner, in a dark manner, just to get that cinematic effect, or just to appease that popular hunger for looking at Muslim societies from a certain perspective. Well, this might sell well, but this strategy of presenting what is already acceptable to the people and do not allow your watchers to look deep into some issues can be harmful for their understanding. This can cause serious psychological impacts on the audience, and that's what needs to be done. And that's what can possibly be investigated in detail when we talk about the analysis of film discourse from a critical perspective. So Dr. Shaban Rafi also came to the similar conclusions that this kind of projection of a certain social reality, as these movies projected Muslim women and their conditions in various Muslim societies, can actually lead the audience to create a certain view about people or social practices or events or societies, which can take them away from reality instead of taking them closer to reality. So, and it also ignores, Dr. Shaban Rafi also concluded that these movies ignore the projection of those women who are quite powerful in these societies, who have been at powerful positions in their professional and political lives, and who are quite capable of resisting and rejecting oppressive ideologies. So there has to be some balanced view. So such projections deprive the audience from a balanced projection of a reality, and this needs to be looked into from a critical perspective.